Has this ever happened to you? Ever be playing the acoustic guitar and suddenly a string just snaps and you don't know where to begin with stringing an acoustic guitar because you don't know how to just change an acoustic guitar because this is your first time or you had other people do it for you? Well, that's what I'm here for today. My name is Mr. Justin Anderson and I'll be teaching you how to replace your acoustic guitar strings. What are some of the reasons why we would want to replace strings on a guitar anyway? Well, the first reason is kind of obvious. If you replace a string, it's a simple job, just replace the one string. No need to take off any other guitar strings and replace those also unless you really wanted to. A reason for replacing every string, and this is a long-term reason why, is because after you put a fresh set of strings on or after you start picking up the guitar after a couple months, the sweat and dirt from your fingers will begin to corrode and oxidize your strings. This will result into the tone of your guitar being not so good, and also your strings will start turning a darker color, and for acoustic guitars this is most notable up at the nuts. And like I said, you don't see the effects of these until a couple months after you replace the strings. However, if you haven't had a string replacement on your guitar yet, you probably need to do so soon. But like I said, after you put a fresh set of strings on, this won't happen again until, it depends on how long you play guitar really. If you play guitar often, you could probably go a year without replacing the strings, but if you play guitar as much as I do, it's once every 6 months.
Footage for this part got deleted, so I have to talk and put pictures up on the screen. Fun! So let's talk about the strings. What are we looking for when we're getting a set? If we take a look on Amazon, Guitar Center, Musician's Friend, Rift City Guitar, your local guitar store, and we take a look at the strings they sell, you'll know that they sell a lot of strings, a lot of brands, and a lot of different types of strings. So we need to keep some things in mind when we're taking a look at what we're going to get. The first thing is obvious, we're looking for acoustic guitar strings, not electric strings. There's videos on YouTube of people putting electric strings on an acoustic and it sounds awful, so don't try that. So how do we know if we're getting a set of acoustic strings? Well, on the packaging, it's going to say acoustic guitar, steel string guitar, or it's going to say bronze and phosphor bronze. That's how most guitar string companies advertise their acoustic products. It's going to say bronze or phosphor bronze on it. Some companies I recommend are Martin, D'Addario, and Ernie Ball. There are many other companies, but those are the three I recommend the most. I've had them on all my acoustic guitars, and they all work pretty great. When you pick out your string, you're also going to see this. You're going to see 2 or more numbers, and it's also going to say light, medium, or heavy gauge. What does this mean? This is just referring to the thickness of the strings or the string gauge. The highest number is going to be your low E string, so in this case our low E string is going to be a 53, and then our high E string is going to be a .012. And there's every string in between, like on the Ernie Ball packaging you saw it gave you every number. On some it's only going to give you 2 numbers, and the lighter the gauge, the easier it's going to play, the heavier the gauge, the harder it's going to play. And now I have footage for the rest of the video, so let's go back to the video version of me.
Something's bothering me, hold on one moment. That's a lot better. What? Too much off the top? One more thing to talk about before we change our strings, and that is the materials you are going to need. So obviously, besides your guitar and your pack of strings, you're going to need a pair of pliers and a pencil, and you want something that supports the neck of the guitar. Personally, I have this little blue thing, but if you take some towels and roll them up and put it right under the neck, that'll work great. So the first challenge comes with these little things down here. These are your bridge pins, and these hold the acoustic guitar string in the bridge so they don't fly everywhere. And they're very hard to take out. I'm actually pulling on this peg really hard, and I can't take it out myself. And there's a couple different methods on if you look it up. Personally, I just take a pair of pliers, grab them, and I pull it out of the guitar. Like so. They may take some resistance like that one did, but you can take your acoustic guitar string out and you'll be golden. Make sure you put these in some place where you know they are going to be. Now, it's important to know that you can't take the bridge pin out when your guitar still has a pitch and the tension is high. So like on our D string right here, it still has that pitch, a slightly added tuned D, and if you grab it, it still has some resistance against you. You don't want to take the bridge pin out when it's like that. If you detune your string and it doesn't have a pitch and it's floppy as such, that was our D string that rung out there, but if we do that again, you see how that string's floppy and I can just grab it and yank it like such. That is when we want to take out our bridge pin if our guitar string isn't broken. So process once again, grab the top by the pliers and just pull. When you first open your box of strings, you might notice that there is another packaging with it. This packaging is just so the strings stay fresh. And there's going to be 6 little packages in here. Each one contains 1 string, and each one of them is going to say the individual number of what that string is on top. So for example, our high E string is a 0.12 and our low E string on the back is a 0.54, and everything else will have a number in between. If you're replacing 1 string, this might be kind of intimidating figuring out what string you're going to replace, considering you got 6 new strings if you got 1 set. But there's going to be an easy way to figure that out. If you have the Dario strings, they color code the end of the strings with purple, black, blue, silver, gold, red, green, whatever colors I said. They color code all their strings, ball ends, and all you need to do is just need to go to the back of the box as the strings came in and figure out what string goes with there. However, if for some reason you threw the box away and you can't get it back, or all your ball ends are the same color, which is probably going to be a gold, a quick way of looking is just look at the box. So for example, on here it says 54, 42, 32, 24, 16, and 12. Well, those go in descending order of your strings. So 54, 42, 32, 24, 16, and 12. Those all go in ascending order, so that's a quick way to figuring out what string goes where. Once you have your string, grab a bridge pin and head down towards the bridge of the guitar. You want to make sure that the end going in the bridge is the little ball end, that's what the string connects to, and you want to just drop it down in there and put down the bridge pin with it. So like that. And then you just want to bend the string ever so slightly and then lead it up towards the headstock of the guitar. And then we're going to put the very thin part of our string through the hole of the tuning peg, putting all of our string in this. And a very important tip once you get to this part is that when you have all your string in there and it looks like this, where it's like has some tension to it, that's not what we want. We need to give the string some slack. And the reason for that is because it's going to break a lot easier if the tension is like this, resulting in you needing to get more strings, and we don't want to do that. So how do we give this slack? There are many ways if you look it up on Google and YouTube. Personally, the way I'm going to show you today is that you want to pinch the string up at where the next tuning peg is, and then just slide it down, providing enough tension so your string kind of looks like this. Then we begin to tune. Another thing to keep in mind is that the very rest of it that went through the tuning peg, this whole access part, you want to make sure that that end goes on top and your wrappings go below. Reason for this mainly is just it's better tuning stability. If you're replacing all the strings, repeat the process until you're done. When you're tuning your strings up to pitch, you may need to tune them several times. That's because the string needs to break in. And now, if you're left with all these extra strings, that's where your wire cutters come back in mind. You just need to go closest to the bridge to the tuning peg as you can, and then just cut them off. They don't need to be perfect cuts, just enough so that way you don't have all this excess wire. In the event that this part right here, the nut for some reason come off your guitar, really simple fix, you don't need to go buy a new one. All you need to do is get some glue it down, wait a couple minutes and just keep tuning your strings. The tension from the strings will pull down onto the glue, making sure that your guitar nut stays there, and same goes for the bridge really. And there you go, you should have a new guitar with strings. I mean, not really a new guitar, just a similar guitar, but with some fresh strings on it, or fresh string depending on why you watch this video. Anyway guys, I hope you liked this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn that bell notification on, and I'll see you in my next video. Hope you all have a good day, and hopefully this video was helpful to you.